The Irish potato famine, which begins in 1845 and lasts until 1852, deprives the country of more than 1 million lives and more than 1 million more who immigrate to another nation. The famine causes Ireland's population to drop almost 25%. Many who escaped the famine immigrated to the East Coast of the United States. New York was one of the most prominent gateways to the nation. Those who chose to continue westward were most likely to be unmarried men, or men who would marry later in their lives once in California. These later-in-life marriages were a common trend in Irish-American famine survivors, both on the East and West Coasts. The life of an Irish-American on the West Coast was often very different than the lives of those who chose to remain back east. Irish in the East are quick to set up communities and neighborhoods that remained mostly traditionally Irish. Even in their choices of occupation, such as police officers and firefighters, they tended to flock together and would dominate that profession. Conversely, in California, the lifestyle was much different. Many Irish found the standard of living much better than back in New York. The Western society was more open, and occupations and communities were far less dominated by one ethnicity. San Francisco was underdeveloped, though rapidly growing, which created many opportunities for Irish Americans to find the economic stability and commercial opportunities that had been lacking in New York. The Irish take the knowledge and experience that they had acquired in Boston or New York and carry it with them to California, where there is a demand for skilled laborers. In addition to these new economic horizons, the Irish also experienced tolerance for their Catholic religion and their more rural ways of life. While bigotry is by no means extinct in Gold Rush-era California, attitudes are far better than those found on the East Coast. In response to an outcry from German and Irish Americans regarding the Chinese and Mexican miners in California in 1850, the state legislature enacts the foreign miners tax for all those not born in America or who have not gained proper citizenship via the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. The law imposes a tax of $20 per month on any foreign person wishing to mine in California. This tax, which is far too high for the majority of Mexican and Chinese miners to afford, is motivated by economics as well as racism from the Americans of European descent. Within a year of the foreign miners' tax, 10,000 Mexican miners leave California. The law is not meant to produce revenue for the state, but rather to exclude non-Americans from reaping the benefits of gold mining. Thousands of Mexicans and Chinese return home, but many did stay and continued to be driving forces in the development of California. The Chinese went on to help build the Transcontinental Railroad. The lives that Chinese immigrants made in America, even with all the prejudices and setbacks, were a far better option than returning to China. Many Chinese persevered and found new ways to succeed in the midst of the rush. Hua Li was one such individual. Once he gave up his attempts at mining for gold, spending grueling days under the unforgiving California sun, running water through a pan or a rocker, he turned to the laundry business and found that running water over dirty trousers would be a much more profitable and stable business. In 1851, Hua Li opens the first Chinese laundry business in San Francisco. By 1870, there would be over 2,000 of them in the city. Levi Strauss was born in Germany in 1829. He and his family came to America to start a new life and open a dry goods store in New York City. The family sent Levi out west in early 1853 to open up a West Coast branch of their company and to take advantage of the still booming California gold rush. Strauss traveled west and set up shop in San Francisco. It did not take long for his dry goods store to become a success. He opened up several locations and would often give generously to charities and religious causes. In 1872, a customer of Strauss, who had purchased some cloth from him, asked Levi to help cover the costs of a patent on a new kind of durable pants. That man's name was Jacob Davis. Strauss agreed, and their venture would lead to the famous blue jeans that we still know today. It is easy to imagine some of those early pairs of Levi's trousers passing through the wash of Mr. Wah Lee. These two men persevered and found success in those early days of California.
Not all that tempts your wondering eyes and heedless hearts is lawful prize, nor all that glitters gold. Thomas Gray.
The fates and fortunes of Samuel Brannan and James Sutter could not be more in contrast. Their individual tales show us a unique side to the multifaceted story that is the California Gold Rush. They are unique inasmuch as that one man became rich off the gold rush and the other lost most everything, yet neither of them fell into the category of a true miner, Argonaut, or 49er. Brannan saw an opportunity in the sale of goods to those who wished to take their chances in the minefields, and he took it. He did not make his money by digging in the dirt, but by selling the implements that others would dig with. He also helped to fuel the propaganda machine that would be a catalyst towards mobilizing thousands of Americans and people from all walks of life throughout the world. Samuel Brannan had the California Gold Rush literally walk right up to his front door. Men came into his shop who were from Sutter's mill, and they paid for goods with gold flakes that they had found in the American River. Brannan foresaw the coming fever, and when that fever did hit, he adapted to it very quickly. He became the first millionaire in the California Gold Rush, yet spent almost no time hunting for gold. His money was made less by chance and more so by calculation. The commodity he dealt in was not gold, but hope. He knew that those who were hunting would come to him in need of the necessary tools and goods, and when they did, he was ready to sell them all that they needed, and at a very healthy profit. His empire would expand beyond general stores and the sale of goods. It would quickly move into the construction of hotels to house the eager Argonauts that flooded his city, and into wharves to house the ever-expanding amount of goods that arrived daily upon the crowded shores of San Francisco. John Sutter was first on the scene. In fact, the scene was a piece of his land. The accidental finding of gold in the American River by James W. Marshall at Sutter's Mill in 1848 would forever alter the fates of thousands upon thousands of people around the globe. What was only a small, shimmering object in the water would become a catalyst for change in the nation, change in what it meant to be an American, and for California rushing headlong into statehood. No state had come into the Union before first spending its fair share of time as a territory first. The never-before-seen rush of people and the ensuing boom of San Francisco and other neighboring cities would prove to be an impetus that would help thrust California into statehood, as well as pushing it into the spotlight on the world stage. John Sutter had plans to become rich off the land in a more traditional sense. In addition to his mill, he had a sizable agricultural empire in New Helvetia, also known as New Switzerland, and his plans for farming and raising cattle were quickly washed away, like the sand and the silt in the pan of an eager miner. Word had spread that there was gold at Sutter's mill, and nothing could stop the squatters that would come. Sutter would spend most of the rest of his life trying to regain his land or receive compensation for its loss from the U.S. government, but he would never attain such satisfaction.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to help us produce more compelling historical content like this, please like, comment below, and share this video with fellow history buffs. And of course, be sure to subscribe to help keep history happening.